Congrats! You made it to the end of this season's GM Genius competition. But it doesn't really end here. If you use what you learned all year round, you'll be in great shape for next year's competition and any situation that involves predictions and choices. The best thing to do right now is a post-mortem, which means you identify what you did well in your process this time and what you need to do differently next time. Then, to prepare for next year and beyond, find ways to apply the GM Genius mindset to the rest of your life. Remember that as a GM Genius, wild guess isn't in your vocabulary. So here's one way you can apply it to life. When you have a test coming up, instead of guessing about how you'll do, find information that suggests the grade you'll get, like how you've done on your homework and quizzes so far, and what was easy or difficult for you on the study guide. This will help you make specific predictions about the likely range of percentage points you'd earn. You'll be able to zero in on concepts you need to study, ask about, or practice until you feel confident that you can increase your point prediction. Also, when you're playing GM Genius, you see into the future. In life, you can do a pre-mortem before any big task you're facing. For example, if you can imagine how you would have been likely to go wrong on something like a group project, your driver's test, or your own sports game against a tough opponent, you can do some tune-ups that will set you up for success. When you're playing GM Genius, you're not a know-it-all. In life, use the knowledge quadrants to explore the unknowns during things like making a big purchase, figuring out whether a certain job or college major is the best choice for you, or even where and when to take a day trip. When you're playing GM Genius, you're skeptical of first impressions. You try to get the full picture before you make a judgment. In life, be willing to update your beliefs when you liked something online and you're seeing it in person. It could be clothes you ordered, a college you're considering, or an apartment you might lease when you move out on your own. If it doesn't match your initial expectations, don't feel like you have to stick with it. Also, don't be afraid to update your beliefs in your relationships. This can go either way. You can be more willing to get to know someone you didn't initially like, and you can also be more willing to distance yourself from someone who you realize has a negative effect on your life. When you're playing GM Genius, you don't fall for media hype. You know that just because you hear about something a lot doesn't mean that it's going to happen a lot. In life, you can avoid the anxiety that goes with seeing lots of news stories about a tragedy like a terrorist attack, or the false hope that goes with seeing certain positive events, like someone winning the lottery, if you recognize that the availability effect makes them seem like they're more likely to happen than they really are. It can also apply to seeing a commercial for a product over and over again. The repetition can make it seem necessary to buy, but you're more likely to hang on to your cash when you don't allow the availability effect to take hold of your thinking. When you're playing GM Genius, you avoid confirmation bias. This means you don't cherry-pick the facts to fit your existing beliefs, and you're willing to change your mind. In life, when you're moving on to something that has a lot of uncertainty, including things we've already mentioned, like choosing a school, job, or place to live, look beyond the options that align with your existing opinion and be willing to consider others along with them. In both GM Genius and life, you can have better outcomes when you test your information before you act on it. For example, if you're considering switching out of a class because you heard a rumor that the teacher's bad, think seriously about whether the information is relevant, reliable, and significant before you do anything about it. Finally, when you're playing GM Genius, you care about your process more than its outcome. In life, before you get into working on something, whether it's required like a school assignment or something more personal like a fitness goal, ask yourself what a good and bad process would look like to help you construct a solid plan. You've learned a lot to help you play GM Genius, and now it's up to you to use it to improve your life too. So even though the competition's over, still try to be a GM Genius every day.